Today I'm be showing you a very powerful heavy machine gun build. As you just saw, it hit for 7.2 million with nothing on the combo meter. Now, this can hit upwards of 10 million on the high end if you have every buff stacked and you're sitting on a 50 combo. But even on the low end, you're hitting on your Suicide Strike for about 4 million on the low end. And on your Traverso, you're hitting for about 400k to half a million on the on the low end. 1.2 over 1 million on the high end. There's 1 million right there. 1.2 million right there. Absolute monster. Now this can be used with Harley Quinn as well. You're gonna have to tweak it a little bit for her. I'll have an optimized build out for her in a couple of days, but let's get into exactly everything that's involved with this build. I'll have the skill tree up for a few seconds, so if you need to copy and paste it, you can pause and do that. I do want to note that Oceanic Defense at the moment does nothing. It does not seem to increase shield capacity. Right now, damage negation really feels like it's not useful at all in high difficulties. Having shield at all points in time is much more useful than having 90% damage negation. Just does not seem to do a damn thing. But maybe if they ever fix it, that would be a lot more viable. For that same reason, I have taken the extra damage and extra regen on the Suicide Strike versus taking the damage negation and critical hit chance, because we kind of speed up for ability at the same rate, but we get more damage versus damage reduction, and damage reduction just is not seeming to make a difference on high difficulty. Now, if they ever do fix this and make it more viable, then this 40 bonus will become a lot more appealing, and probably this one will become a lot more appealing as well. Moving on to the gear, I'm going to show you how to use this with 2 machine guns and with 1 machine gun. Now, we're going to get more damage on using 2 machine guns, but we're going to get infinite abilities using 1 machine gun and about half the damage. Now, the only thing this is really going to affect is your time to kill once you get up to like mastery 50, 55. Then this build might become a little bit more appealing than running the 1 gun, but I'm going to show you how to run them both. So, right here we have 2 machine guns. The same one is for the rate of fire and because it can burn people. Now, obviously, you would want to have 2 master versions of the gun. Ideally, you want one with Traverse and one with Suicide Strike. Now, you could run 2 heavy weapon ammo reserves, but it's not really needed unless you're going to empty your entire magazine on 1 gun, empty your entire magazine on your next gun without actually reloading and regenning any ammo. Then you might have a little bit of ammo problems, but all you have to do is land 1 crit and you'll fill your reserve. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, you're going to get a couple hundred bullets back for landing 1 crit. Don't ask me why. It's just how it is right now. So you basically got infinite ammo as long as you're not emptying both the magazines without reloading the reserve. We do want critical hit chance on both the weapons. If you're not going to run the reserve on both, then you're going to run the reserve on one and you're going to run shield harvest chance on the other. And as I said, Suicide Strike on one, Traverse on the other. That is so you can get your ability up of your choosing very fast. So when you're fighting the brutes, you would switch to the Suicide version. When you're fighting larger mobs, you'll switch to the Traverse version. Now, because that burns, we do get to use the Master Heat Wave, which gives us invulnerability due to the amount of enemies we burn. We also gain invulnerability through Afflictions on our grenade and melee weapon. You don't necessarily need this melee weapon. There are a couple good choices, and the bonus on this doesn't really benefit us besides when another player crazes an enemy. So if another player has the tier 3 of the Fury going for them, and they're crazing a lot of enemies, then occasionally we will drop a live grenade or grenade ammo. But we don't melee primarily, we more shoot than we melee. we just melee on the shield harvest and really quickly as an opener sometimes to negate a little bit of damage when we come in on a section. Not going crazy on the melee. So another good choice is the Great Suspender, which slows all the enemies within 10 meters. There's a couple of decent harvest ones as well. Just go for one that has very high Suicide Strike Mastered version, and then, like I said, add those bonuses that you see right there: Suicide Strike damage, Shield Regen on melee hit, and Shield Harvest. For your grenade, you can run Explosive Radius, Grenade Damage to help deal with the little mobs. Next, I noticed on the leaderboards initially looking for ideas that a lot of sharks seem to like to run the immunity, and even other people talking about it just in some co-op play. Personally, I like the more offense. This gives us 500% more offense as we're constantly moving, and we already get 10 seconds of immunity when we burn 5 enemies. We don't really need that other one because it only prevents the damage from burning enemies. This is true immunity from all damage. So this one is really good. The other one at best is like okay. So instead of okay, I chose the other okay one, which gives me bonus damage versus the bonus defense. Then we got this one for the tier 2 bonus, so we can get 750% extra damage. Next, we're going to be taking the Jinx Charm, and this is really for high tiers. 75% of the time, we gain 250% increased damage. Then, 25% of the time, we're going to be gaining 1000% increased damage. Maybe it's a little bit different on those numbers in co op based off other people constantly crazing. It'll be a little bit higher percentage towards the 1000%, which is nice. But on the low end, you're looking at the initial numbers: 75% 250, 25% 1000. So it is a nice little chunk of bonus damage. Now, alternatively, if you want to run this for one weapon and you're on lower tiers and you're not crazy pushing high tiers, then you can run one weapon with Suicide Strike resource on critical hits. You'll put one of the Fury ones in your second as a placeholder, and then you'll change this to Traverse damage. So you'll have regen on your Suicide Strike per critical hit with insane rate of fire, and you'll have Traverse regen on it as well. Then what you want to do for your squad ultimate is change this one over here, so it's double squad ultimate resource on enemy kills, and put in the second slot more squad ultimate on kill. You should still leave one shield regeneration on critical hit, just so you have a little bit of shield regen on both your gun hits and your melee. And that is how you can basically get infinite traverse and suicide strikes at the same time with a just a couple kill refresh on your squad ultimate ability. If you like the builds, leave a like, comment, share. It helps others find the video. I hope this helped.